What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about syrup today, Maple Finance. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. I don't have a huge list, but I've got a list of coins that are potential winners and sinners. The only two that are green today is a meme coin and then this thing, syrup, which, by the way, is just unbeatable. I dare not be bearish against this thing. Every time I am, that's the low. And it starts to move up. So at the detriment of the syrup investors, I do and probably will remain bullish on this thing, especially with what you're doing here, man. You're finding immaculate support. Immaculate support right here at prior resistance here. Consolidating a little bit, yes, but your daily RSI is just unbeatable. The 3-day RSI is bullish as hell, and the weekly RSI, oh, these are all ideal looks, man. They're very ideal. And I want to look at syrup on maybe Coinbase. We'll start off on the short term stuff, and then we'll zoom out to the long term stuff. Okay, so looking at this here on a 1 hour time frame, you're getting decent volume, right? Time and time again. Let's look at syrup actually on CoinMarketCap real quick. Syrup here. Let's see. Somebody said I was mega bearish on this thing at all the every time I make a bearish call, it's like I don't think that calling for a standard pullback, that was my response, and it's of no offense, man. I don't care. I'm not talking smack. I'm just trying to just iterate again that I've been very bullish on syrup like this whole time. Just because I'm calling for a standard pullback does not mean that I'm bearish on it, right? Moment like this, you've seen crazy growth in a short amount of time. That's a standard pull. That's like a shallow pullback right there, right? I'm not crazy for calling that. It's just too bullish, man. It won't go down. It just won't go down, no matter how hard you want it to, or wish it to, or believe it will. And the TA might suggest it at times. It's just too bullish. It's absolutely too bullish, and I don't think that we're going to go down, right? I think that any prices, if you wanted to scoop syrup up below 30 cents, man, May was your last opportunity to do that. This thing is unbeatable. Absolutely it is. Syrup here, volume 16.3%. Not a lot of coins are seeing that kind of volume day in and day out, but this thing is. It's been very phenomenal. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, here. The 1 hour is neutral. It's very neutral, but again, as you're moving down, not that much volume. As you're moving up, there's more volume coming in. You did have some volume coming in on this way down, but more volume, I'd say, coming up. Overall, let's see if we take a relative low here to a relative high there. 786 bounce to the 236. Hey, that's actually very common. Actually, very, very common maneuver right there. Back down to the 0.5 golden ratio area, whatever. You might go a little bit lower, and it's fine if you do, but I don't think you do. Lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price, so you probably continue to move up. If Bitcoin continues to go lower, if that's not the low there, then it's very possible that that syrup could go lower as well. But we've seen syrup move up even with Bitcoin moving down, so don't count on that, right? Every dip is for buying with this thing, man. Every dip is for getting sticky with the syrup, all right? 53.6 cents right now. Consolidating here, it looks like you had a downtrend in your 4 hour RSI, right? Lower highs, lower lows, that whole thing. And really, you've just broken out of that, back testing this area, the 40 area for support, which is nice, and the prior resistance zone for support. You're getting ready to get overbought, yeah. You might have a bullish weekend, and if you don't have a bullish weekend, you're definitely going to have a bullish week next week. I would expect this thing to do well. Finding support at prior areas of resistance, it looks good, man. If this is what you're doing whenever the rest of the market is struggling, I wonder what you're going to do when the rest of the market pumps, right? You're either going to outperform the rest of the markets or at least perform on average with them, I would expect, right? This thing is definitely a winner, and it doesn't stop winning, right? Finding support on a daily time frame at the same areas that you found support before, like really throughout this whole, like since April, even since the middle of April here, you've been finding support here. You even found resistance in this area, so definitely a significant area on the RSI. I would assume that this next run, you probably see a deeper, probably being the keyword, a deeper reading in the RSI. So if you do that, I mean, man, I wouldn't be surprised if you, I'm sorry. I wouldn't be surprised if you broke out of this trend line to the upside, right? Like what, you're going to stop here after moving up higher? Maybe. If you don't get a lot of volume to come in, nothing to back it up, right? You want to see volume increasing as you're moving up. When you're moving up and the volume doesn't increase, you're going to move down. That won't persist. And if we see something like this here where you're moving up and there's no volume coming in, okay, maybe we do move back down, but we'll still continue to move up afterwards, right? You're just going to load up at this same area that you're at now before moving higher. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if, let's actually see. Let's look at syrup. No, No, I don't want to use that chart. This maybe let's use this chart, and if we can't come up with anything conclusive, we'll use the maple chart. Okay, if it still exists on TradingView. I know they get rid of stuff whenever it's irrelevant, but I would like it if we had the all-time history here, because this is not the all-time history, right? Before there was syrup, there was maple. Okay, so a very probable next area might be here, 73 cents right there. And again, if we move up here without any added volume, maybe that is where we find resistance. Then we come back down and we find support, something like that. That's okay if we do that. But inevitably, yes, I would think that the next target area to consider would be about 91 cents to $1.10, and that makes sense, right? A dollar being psychological resistance. Oftentimes, you'll go either just below or just above those psychological levels. So something in that zone. That's what we call the money zone. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if you got there. Inevitably, syrup, I would expect that you're at targets that are probably above $2 by the end of August, right? I expect Bitcoin to do well and the rest of the crypto markets to do well going into July and August. So let's look at Maple, if it still exists. MPL, yes, okay, there we go, good. Again, this chart doesn't exist anymore, right? It stopped working on April 30th whenever they merged over to syrup, whenever that whole thing happened. So it's the same project, it always has been, but the way that they merged it, right, every one Maple token equals 100 syrup tokens. So think of it as like a 100 to 1 split, right? If syrup is at 53 cents, 53.8 cents, that'd be $53.8 on Maple. So you've pumped up a good bit, right? Pumped up a good bit. But here we have the all-time historical data. So, and this is still, it's the same chart, it's the same project. So this is actually very appropriate, I think, to do this. High to low, I mean, let's just see if it is. Okay, we are finding resistance here at what would be $53.8. 53.8, and actually, hold on. Let's see, where did we top off originally? We topped off right here at 60, would have been $66. $66, that's your all-time highs. That's where we found resistance. And yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. Anyways, when we move up, we'd probably see minimum target, I would think, by the end of August, if not sometime between the end of July and August. By the end of August, I would think we see $500 to $163. And if that's the case, that would imply a $1.63 at the minimum end and a $5 price for syrup at the high end by the end of August. So you could 10x between now and the next couple of months, guys. Absolutely you could. But if not a 10x, then something on the lines of a 3x or a 2x, and that's okay if you do that. I don't really know what else to say, so I'll probably just end it there. But looking very, very bullish. Keep on trudging. Dips are for buying with this thing, and definitely not for selling. So if you're expecting prices to go lower, just understand we had bearish divergence. We had the whole thing. You didn't do it. You still just you couldn't do it. You just kept moving up, man. You got lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price. You're finding support here and here continuously and just building. You look like you're consolidating and ready to rip into the overbought zone again. You might even see a deeper, if you see a 10x, you would get a deeper reading in the RSI than you got last time, and that would make a lot of sense. I know that it's being tenacious and meticulous, just moving up at this kind of pace here, but don't for a second think that it can't surprise you and move faster. You can absolutely explode faster, and then you'll touch back. You know, if you get a big explosion, you'll probably have a big correction too, but that's normal. That's expected. I got nothing else, maybe not for this thing. Hit the like button, subscribe. Take care. Thank you all. I'll see you on the next one, all right? Bye-bye.